Hi, I'm Dave with Counselor Magazine, joined by Colin Hansen, who's one of our keynoters here at the ASI Power Summit in Canada and the former finance minister of British Columbia. Colin, thanks for being here. How are you?
I'm doing great.
So let's start with sort of a snapshot of the Canadian economy. You seem to be a bit more positive on where things are going than some others. What's your view?
You know, I think Canada weathered the economic downturn better than most developed countries around the world. You know, Canada continues to have a AAA credit rating as a country. There wasn't one single bank in Canada that had to be bailed out by taxpayers, and I think that's the only developed country that can claim that. The Canadian economy, I think, since the recession it's been inching up. You know, it hasn't been a strong rebound, but certainly not the kind of depths of recession I think that other developed countries have seen around the world. So I think that the recovery is on pretty solid ground. And now that the U.S. economy is actually starting to set into a pretty healthy recovery, that bodes well for the Canadian economy going forward.
Sure. When you talk about Canada, you talk about oil prices. At least in the U.S., you know, we're seeing that in the headlines very often. Where are oil prices headed, and what's been the real impact of oil prices on the Canadian economy?
Well, I think oil prices are cyclical, like so many things. And you know, I can remember in January hearing a news report about how the price of oil that particular day had gone down to, or collapsed, I think was the word they had used. And they said, this is the lowest price of oil that we've had. And I thought he was going to say like in 25 years. Sure. He said the lowest price of oil in 5 years. Well, you know, so yes, you know, the price of oil went down. You know, it was actually just June of 2014 that oil prices were up over $100 a barrel, and now they're down. The U.S. is starting to produce more and more unconventional oil. In fact, is now the world's largest producer of oil, and will probably become self-sufficient. But if you look at the oil reserves in Canada and the oil reserves in the United States, North America is oil self-sufficient today. And I think that will continue to be the case. But I think that oil prices will start to come back up. They are coming up, and I believe that they'll be back into the $90 range before too long. Probably not back up to the highs that they were in a few years back.
Let's talk now about markets and sectors. If you were a promotional products distributor in Canada, what are the up and coming markets or really strong sectors you'd be looking at for sales?
Well, I think that Canada is in a very good position because of the North American Free Trade Agreement. So, you know, you can ship Canadian-made product, Canadian-manufactured product, anywhere in the Americas relatively easily. So I think there's a great opportunity there. The other thing is that Canada is actually the closest jurisdiction to Asia. So if you were bringing product into North America for distribution, Canada actually has the closest ports and the lowest transportation costs, the lowest energy costs in terms of electricity in particular, and has a talented labor force. So I think there's an opportunity for Canada to play a much bigger role in the promotional product sector as a base from which to do operations aimed at the Americas.
Colin Hansen, thanks for the insight and information. Thanks for being here, and thanks you for watching.